1984, the year George Orwell was referencing in his 1949 book. Was Big Brother really watching you? Could Big Brother be CEO of Facebook Mark Zuckerberg that was born in that year? Some people think that reference was for what was to come. With DNA fingerprinting being introduced, it just backed up the surveillance state references. 1984 also brought many words and phrases that we still use today, such as Orwellian, Newspeak, Memory Hole, and the ever-famous
I'll be back.
$1984. Your average house cost was $37,182. You could also get a gallon of gas for $1.10. And you could put that gallon of gas in your new Corvette that cost you under $23,500. At the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, the Space Shuttle Discovery has its maiden voyage. Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister of India, is assassinated in New Delhi by two of her own bodyguards. At a San Diego McDonald's, James Huberty fatally shot 21 people and wounded 19. At the time of the massacre, this was the deadliest mass shooting by a lone gunman in the United States. Researchers identify the HIV virus as the cause of AIDS.
I have AIDS?
Not yet, but we've confirmed that you now have the virus that causes AIDS.
Following the widespread famine in Ethiopia, many of top British and Irish USSR pop musicians joined together under the name Band-Aid and recorded the song Do They Know It's Christmas? Claiming that its athletes would not be safe from protests and possible attacks, the Soviet Union announces that it will not compete in the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. There's a speculation that the boycott was a response to the decision of the United States to boycott the 1980s games that were held in Moscow. Christopher Bernard Wilder was also known as the Beauty Queen Killer. He was an Australian serial killer who abducted and raped at least 12 women, killing at least 8 of them during his 6-week cross-country crime spree in the United States in early 1984. Colonel Joe Kittinger becomes the first person to complete a solo transatlantic flight in a helium balloon.
I trust you can handle this contraption, Q.
It goes by hot air.
Oh, then you can.
A series of huge explosions at a Pemex liquid petroleum gas storage plant caused massive fires. These fires killed between 500 and 600 people and left as many as 7,000 others with severe burns. A 700-year-old wing of York Minster was destroyed by fire as well. By the end of the year, 78 U.S. banks have failed.
Show me the money!
We can put that check in a money market mutual fund. Then we'll reinvest the earnings into foreign currency accounts with compounding interest, and it's gone.
No! God, please, no! No!
An IRA bomb goes off in Grand Hotel Brighton during a conservative conference. The purpose of this bomb was to kill Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and her cabinet who were staying at the hotel for the Conservative Party conference. Played during the Super Bowl, Apple aired the 1984 Macintosh commercial.
Until now you have become the very thing you swore to destroy.
A new airline, Virgin Atlantic Airways, was formed. Prince hit it big in the summer of 1984 thanks to the release of both the film and album Purple Rain, which was formally introduced the world to his backing band The Revolution. The Chicago White Sox and the Milwaukee Brewers played the longest game in Major League Baseball history, lasting 8 hours and 6 minutes over 25 innings. The game had to be spread across 2 days until the Brewers eventually pulled out a 7-6 win, thanks to a home run from Harold Baines. During the 1984 presidential election, a woman ran on a major political party's presidential ticket for the first time in history. Congresswoman Geraldine Farrell joined former Democrat Walter Mondale as he went up against Republican incumbent Ronald Reagan. Mondale was behind throughout most of the campaign and hoped that the choice of Farrell for vice presidential candidate would not only boost enthusiasm from women for his candidacy, but also peel away voters from Reagan.
Now that's a lot of damage!
In a commercial shoot for Wendy's, Clara Peller was asked by the director to say, "Where is all the beef?" She ended up saying, "Where is the beef?" and that tagline stuck for many years.
Hey, where's the beef? I don't think there's anybody back there.
You want something?
While filming the sixth take for a pyrotechnic shot for a Pepsi commercial, sparks landed on Michael Jackson's heavily gelled hair and set it on fire. A USSR computer programmer releases his new game Tetris, which is only available for the Electronica 60 console. Hour-long infomercials become the norm.
But wait! There's more!
Crack, a less expensive and smokable form of cocaine, first showed up in Los Angeles in 1984 and quickly spread to major cities throughout the United States. The word crack first appeared in the New York Times on November 17, 1985. Alex Trebek stood behind the podium and hosted the show. The very first MTV Video Music Awards were aired. Vanessa Williams, the first African-American winner in the history of the Miss America pageant, was pressured to relinquish her title when nude photos she'd posed for previously were published in Penthouse. Marvin Gaye intervened in a fight between his parents, angering his father who shot him at point-blank range. He died minutes later, just 1 day short of his 45th birthday. In 1984, you're probably listening to Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes, Karma Chameleon by Culture Club, Jump by Van Halen, and Footloose by Kenny Loggins. Quite a few iconic movies came out in 1984, such as Beverly Hills Cop, Footloose, Ghostbusters, Gremlins, Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, The Karate Kid, The Natural, The Terminator, and cult classic Police Academy. When you weren't at the movie theater, you were probably watching Dynasty, Dallas, 60 Minutes, Family Ties, or The Cosby Show on TV. And in the Super Bowl, the LA Raiders defeated the Washington Redskins. The Detroit Tigers beat the San Diego Padres in the World Series. The Boston Celtics defeated the LA Lakers in the NBA Championship. And the Edmonton Oilers defeated the New York Islanders for the Stanley Cup. In Wimbledon, Martina Navratilova defeated Chris Evert, and John McEnroe defeated Jimmy Connors. The Supreme Court rules that taping television shows at home on VCRs does not violate copyright laws. The record of the year was Beat It by Michael Jackson. The album of the year was Thriller, also by Michael Jackson. And the song of the year, Every Breath You Take, by The Police featuring Sting.
Right there.
In Los Angeles, California, Tyrone Mitchell opens fire at an elementary school playground. 2 students are killed and 12 are injured. As SWAT team swarmed the house he had been fired from, Mitchell turns a shotgun on himself and commits suicide. Iraq is accused of using chemical weapons against Iran. The use of mustard gas on Majoun Island is thought to have caused 2,500 casualties. British coal miners begin their strike to protest the closing down of mines by Margaret Thatcher's government. The strike lasts a whole year and is described as the most bitter industrial dispute in British history. At Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport in Louisiana, Gary Plouch shoots and kills Jeff Dossett. The vigilante killing is captured on film by a TV crew who were filming Dossett arriving in Louisiana to stand trial for the kidnap and sexual assault of Plouch's son, Jody.
I will blow your face clean off your face.
7 people are charged with satanic ritual abuse of school children at McMartin Preschool in Manhattan Beach, California. The McMartin Preschool trial becomes the longest in U.S. history, and all 321 charges are eventually dropped due to testimony from the children being coerced by an unlicensed therapist. Comedian Tommy Cooper dies live on TV. Cooper suffers a massive heart attack and falls backwards, gasping, initially thought to be part of his comedic routine. The sun releases an X-class solar flare. Flares classified in X can affect the Earth, causing blackouts and radio disruptions. This flare measures an X13, the second most powerful flare recorded until X20 occurred in 1989.
X gon' give it to you.
After a 5-year battle, an out-of-court settlement of $180 million is awarded to American Vietnam War veterans suffering illnesses and disabilities caused by Agent Orange. Nelson Mandela, imprisoned in South Africa, sees his wife for the first time in 22 years.
You're my wife?
Yeah?
Holy ash.
6 inmates escaped from death row at Mecklenburg Correctional Facility in Virginia. Lem Tuggle, Earl Clanton, Derek Peterson, Willie Jones, and brothers James and Linwood Briley become the only prisoners to ever escape from death row in the United States. All 6 were apprehended within days of the escape. Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen is the 7th album and is released in the United States. A sudden F5 tornado hits Barneveld, Wisconsin. Meteorologists are unable to predict this twister, which kills 9 people and injures 200 more. Estimated damage is around $25 million, making it one of the most major events in 1984. When Doves Cry hits the Billboard #1 slot in the United States and stays there for 5 weeks, becoming the most successful song of the year. 19-year-old Terry Wallace loses control of his truck outside of the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas. The accident puts Wallace into a coma and kills his friend. He will eventually awaken after 19 years. The National Minimum Drinking Age Act is passed in America. Those under the age of 21 can't buy or possess alcohol. Before the act is passed, the legal drinking age varied from 18 to 21, depending on which American state you are in. The first female captain of a Boeing 747, Beverly Burns, makes her first maiden voyage as captain. Mary Lou Retton of the USA's Olympic gymnastics team scores a perfect 10 for her final vault. She's the first American woman to win an Olympic gymnastics gold medal. U.S. President Ronald Reagan jokes about bombing Russia during a mic check for a radio interview. The remark is leaked to the press and becomes an infamous report around the world. Automobile executive John DeLorean is acquitted of drug trafficking charges in Los Angeles. The founder of DeLorean Motor Company was arrested in 1982 after being caught on tape agreeing to bankrolling a drug deal worth $24 million. The tape is deemed entrapment and DeLorean is cleared of all charges. Two rival motorcycle gangs in Milpera, a suburb of Sydney, Australia, clashed, resulting in a shootout. 7 people were killed with a further 12 wounded when gangs known as the Bandidos and Comancheros in Sydney, Australia. The incident leads to Australia's gun laws, resulting in stricter parameters for who is issued a gun license. Princess Diana gives birth to her second child with Prince Charles. The new prince's name is announced the next day as Henry Charles Albert David.
So what is your name?
My name?
Yes, your name.
My name is
Pardon?
The American family sitcom Happy Days is canceled after 11 seasons. Children's TV show Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends is first broadcast in the UK. The series is based on original stories by Reverend W. Awdry, as narrated by former Beatle Ringo Starr. In Raleigh, North Carolina, a convicted murderer Velma Barfield becomes the first woman in the United States to be executed since 1962. Horror film A Nightmare on Elm Street is released in the United States.
Every town has an Elm Street.
And some of the top cartoons that came out in 1984 were Transformers, Voltron, My Little Pony, Muppet Babies, and Heathcliff and the Cadillac Cats. There's so many great TV shows that came out in 1984, it would probably take us a whole video to discuss them all. Neo-Nazi and leader of the Order Robert J. Matthews is killed in a shootout with the FBI. The agents have been surrounding Matthews' house for over 24 hours before the shootout begins. Def Leppard drummer Rick Allen loses control of his car while driving along A57 outside of Sheffield, England. As a result, he loses his left arm. Hulk Hogan took down the Iron Sheik and became the WWF champion for the first of 6 times. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were first introduced as a comic. The Baby on Board signs were first marketed in the United States. The first desktop laser printer, the HP LaserJet, was first introduced in May of 1984. Dell Computers was founded on May 3rd of 1984, and the term cyberspace is used and coined by William Gibson in his book Necromancer. And we're just scratching the surface on things that happened in 1984. If there is something of significance that happened in 1984, please leave it in the comments below and maybe we'll do an updated video. And if you liked our video, please like and subscribe and put in the comments what year you'd like to see next.